Hi, I'm Frederick, and today I launched the first episode of my podcast. Actually, I came up with this idea from reading a book, Expert Secret, that by doing one podcast each day for a year, it will drastically improve my business. So, I am an entrepreneur. I just quit my job to launch my Amazon business. Actually, I've been doing it for the past 5 years. And I built an Amazon brand from scratch. I launched multiple products and have taken bold steps into government contracting, AI automation, and consulting. I've also invested heavily in self improvement to become a better leader, speaker, and business owner. I sometimes try to do everything myself instead of delegating early. I've learned the hard way that trying to wear all hats slows growth. I'm actually working on building better systems, trusting my team, and focusing more on strategy than execution. I take action. I don't just learn, I execute, test, and iterate. I'm all in on building a business that changes life, impacts others, and change my life too. I'll take everything I learn here and turn it into real results. I'm not here to play small. I'm here to scale fast, serve big, and lead from the front. So today, I have learned five, I would say four big things that will transform my business and help me move forward. And the first thing is about knowing what kind of thinker I am. I was watching this episode of Dan Pena that really brought my attention on the topic about people who think macro versus people who think micro. And it was easy for me to find out because I just went to ChatGPT and asked the question in O3. If you use ChatGPT, O3 is my favorite version. From the past interaction, it says macro, but it gave me a little test with 5 questions. I had to put rating from 1 to 5 to figure out if the assumption of macro was correct. And without a doubt, it was because the few questions that I can remember now, one was, do you like to plan 5 years ahead? I was like, yeah, I like to know where I'm going, obviously. The second question was like, do you prefer detailed spreadsheet or just the overview? So I'm the person who like, graphs, and actually it was, you prefer whiteboard, like the one behind me, or spreadsheet. I definitely like whiteboard. Spreadsheet, is well organized. I like organizing them, putting everything in it, but going line by line, I don't like it. I despise it. So those are the two few questions that I can remember now. And it's good to know those things because sometimes we forget, and knowing your strength is something that I'm trying to be mindful of and intentional on playing on my strength, because I feel like sometimes you get a job and you've been doing the wrong job that doesn't really showcase your skills. Like I was in a job that wanted me to do very specific things, detail oriented. It's not like I'm not detail oriented, but if every task has to be detail oriented before you can give me more responsible tasks, you see how there can be a clash. So I'm a macro person. I like to see from 60,000 square feet and trying to understand the bigger picture. And then maybe I will be interested in going into the details. So that was the first things that I learned today that you can experience yourself, trying to figure out if you're a macro thinker or a micro thinker. That pushes me to the next insight. The second thing I learned today was since I'm launching product, like I said in the intro, I'm concurrently continuing my brand on Amazon while I'm looking for government contracts, while I'm trying to learn AI and see what I can do with that. So we're planning on launching a new product next quarter. Oh, this is July. This is actually Q3. Uh, it's going to be ready by the end of this month, and we'll be shipping it to the warehouse. So right now we're working on the copy, and my wife started the copy, so she shared that with me, and I'm trying to take that draft and use AI to amplify it. I changed the title. I changed some details that will go into the background because before you publish a product, Amazon got a platform for sellers where you have to go there and put everything together. So when customers look at a page, it looks amazing. You have the copy there, you have the title, the bullets, the descriptions, the photos. So we're just trying to get organized ahead of the time. That's one thing I learned today. Tweaking the title was a big change. And yeah, borrowing my wife pair of eyes, buy back a chunk of time so I can delegate it to her. The next thing I want to talk about is actually delegating. And we're learning every day. Delegating is something that I've been doing for the longest. I was president of Toastmasters Club at work back in 2019, around that time frame. And one of my speech actually was about delegation. But it's one of those things that you continually working on. What I mean is today I learned that there's a delegation where you take a task that's repetitive and just give it to the VA, because in my business, I have a VA that I've been working with for the past 2 years. She's amazing. And sometimes we have Zoom meetings, and I feel like things don't get tracked like it's supposed to. And one thing that I learned today is it's good to have meetings, but it's even better to have a list after each meetings to delegate actually. Like when you get a list, when I have a list and I actually give it to my virtual assistant, it keeps both of us accountable. Instead of just talking, having the agenda, the action items, taking that list, putting a date, like actually managing the project and delegating the right way is very valuable. And that was eye opening. And I'm sure there's a lot of things that I still got to learn in the delegation department. But yeah, today was a packed day and a lot of movements, a lot of things. But that's all I had to share. That's a wrap for this forward moment. Hit like and we will build again. Let me know what you would like to hear. Thank you.